collection of foreign space launches Capstone team participating in MakeOHI 2025. We have team members Clay, Ian, Luke, John, and Divyang, and we are here to tell you guys a little bit more about our project.
So the project itself was to detect foreign space launches using seismic stations around the globe. We achieve this by using a method called cross-correlation, where we take patterns from these rocket launches and compare them to the seismic readings we receive. And then from the correlation, we get a coefficient back, and we use that coefficient to determine whether or not what we are reading is a space launch or just white noise and earthquakes. So here we have a GUI that Luke's created that will read and test data that I've put in for seismic data that could either be an earthquake or a rocket launch.
So we're going to show you guys this GUI demo really quick. So initially when you run the app, this screen pops up and it tells you to click next to begin the tests. And then once you click next, it'll tell you in the text box whether a launch was detected or not, or whether a similarity was detected or not. So for the first 14 tests we have, nothing is detected. And then for the second, nothing is detected. And then for the third here, you can see when detection occurs, it tells you the amount of detections that occurred and then the percentage of similarity for each peak from the graph. And then Ian was working on a testing script that outputted a bunch of graphs, and this graph you see here is the output of the similarity. And then when you continue on, it just, again, if detection occurs, it tells you the similarities and the amounts of detection, and then it outputs the graph from Ian's testing script with the graph that highlights the similarities. For the future, we're looking forward to making this graph output more correctly towards what he has from the testing script, and we're also focusing on documentation for the future.
We'll build this app so it doesn't need to connect to any external sources on the internet. It would only be connected to the API for OpSpy and the libraries that we are using. So it's a fairly secure app, and it's not vulnerable to any DDoS attacks. This app is also very lightweight and resource optimized, so it can run on minimal hardware like Raspberry Pi. We're also connected to stations internationally, so you can get data from all over the world, not just the United States. There's also a very high level of control in fetching data, like the duration of the time and the stations we want to fetch from. And there's also data filtration algorithms in a place to compare existing data with the data that's being actively read to make sure that we get reliable results.